Hello and welcome to our next webinar session. My name is Markus Florian. Today we will be talking about sensor solutions for a healthy environment. That's a very important topic these days, and the topic has been also selected based on the input we have received in the previous seminar. So this time we are talking about an application-specific implementation of our technology. Briefly, we'll be switching on the camera to introduce myself. Just a second. So here, Markus Florian is my name. I run the sales team at Enocean in Europe. Switch off again the camera so for a better audio experience. I will be doing this presentation together with my colleague Armin Anders. And first, I will be giving a brief introduction to our company for those who don't know us. And then, of course, I will be handing over to my colleague Armin Anders. So here, just a few words on Enocean, the company. So we are a leader and provider of self-powered IoT solutions. In this context, of course, we rely on energy harvesting technology and deliver the components, modules, and products in combination with standardized wireless protocols. Of course, we are known for the sub-gigahertz protocol, Enocean protocol, which is an open standard over 10 years now in the sub-gigahertz range, where we deliver three frequencies, 868 for Europe, 902 for the US market and Canada, as well as 928, for example, for Japan. But of course, we have added most recently support also for Zigbee Green Power, and then the most recent additions was also Bluetooth Low Energy. In that context, since 2003, we have shipped a double-digit million number of products into the market. These solutions are being deployed by our partners in over 1 million buildings worldwide. And these buildings are ranging from small private homes up to big office buildings or even hospitals. Our team is located worldwide. As mentioned, the headquarters is in Europe. I'm based in Germany, but we have a team around Europe, in the UK, in France, in the Nordics. We have a team also in the US, and of course, we have a presence also in Far East. Our activities are supported by a strong patent portfolio where we continuously innovate with product and technology to support these developments. With this, I hand over to my colleague Armin Anders, who gives you a more detailed introduction about today's topics. Armin, over to you.
I'm Armin Anders, co-founder of Enocean and Vice President Business Development. Please note at the end we will have a question and answer session, but please note that questions can be typed anytime, and at the end we will answer them. In the following, please find some numbers about office workers using remote work. 12% before Corona, 90% during Corona, and 50 to 60% are expected after Corona that will use remote work. This means Corona will change the office market long term. And this also promotes the need of space utilization systems, so-called smart spaces. Here find some more impressive numbers about benefit of smart spaces. 25% space savings have been realized in concrete projects by desk sharing. This already should cover the cost of a smart spaces installation. Please note that 54% of the office space was typically unused already before Corona, and currently it's clearly even more. An additional very impressive cost savings is 5 to 50% increase in productivity, stated, for example, by Mark Jebel. This is so noteworthy because productivity has a factor 10 higher impact on office costs, since salary costs are typically 10 times higher than office space costs, as those are mainly rent and utility. High potential, which are preferred as employees, strongly require flexible working models. This fact alone makes it necessary to invest in smart spaces. Finally, what we are talking about, personal distance and hygiene are secured by smart spaces applications. To give us some feedback of yourself, please find this short survey. The question is, what is your personal interest in smart spaces? Some questions are, or some answers, the answers are general information. Do you plan to get a smart space solution? Do you have your own product or solution? Simply click your favorite. Your answer gives an indication of today's audience preference and the market status of smart spaces somehow. I suggest, until everybody has pushed the buttons, let's shortly wait for the answers. Yeah, still some changes here, but more or less it's now stable. So the answers are: most of you want to have some general information, nearly 50%. 1/3 plans to get a smart spaces solution, a concrete solution, and 30% are product or system suppliers that are interested in sensors. Thank you very much. It means most of you want to have some general information, but we have also people who are looking for concrete solutions and people who are offering concrete solutions. So I have now to put this away. So, after entering the market for smart systems, let's talk about IoT sensors that are needed. There are some useful ingredients. First, wireless sensors to be flexible and easy to retrofit. Also, batteryless sensors to ensure maintenance-free and ecological. How does this work? Instead of batteries, a micro-energy generator is used. Electrodynamic converter for switches and buttons by moving a magnet in a coil, or solar cells plus an energy store for operating in darkness over several days, or thermal converter. Those can even power a mechanical valve because thermal energy is so energy sufficient, or an electromagnetic converter for current measurement of a power cable. Now we come to the applications for health environments. Corona makes people counting essential for smart buildings. 4 types of sensors are needed. First of all, utilization sensor for detecting desk occupancy or utilization of other objects. Second, an activity sensor. Activity correlates to people count in case of people are slow moving. The third one is indoor contact. This works well in case of low people flow, typically at restroom doors. Or an passage sensor. It needs this is needed in case of high people flow, usually through floors or shop entrances. A great example of a desk occupancy sensor is Smart Spaces by T-Systems. Desk vibration sensor works as well as a subdesk passive infrared sensor. but can be solar powered when mounted facing up on the desk. This MC sensor additionally provides useful desk information like temperature, humidity, and illumination. Tomorrow, T-Systems, together with us, will present Smart Spaces solution at a separate webinar. You will please receive the appropriate invitations immediately after this webinar. A great application example of a people activity counter is VirusGuard by ThinkIt. This passive infrared sensor sends all 2 minutes the number of movements detected with a second's time grid. To localize larger crowds, the application correlates the sensor's activity count to people count independent of the room geometry. At the dashboard, you can nicely see the percentage of occupancy calculated by the application. If single desk occupancy is needed, desk vibration sensors could also be used, or alternatively. Find some technical data of the people activity counter, the AIPAC solution at the offering by Tevolis. This solution is suited for places where people are typically moving with slow motion. Meeting rooms, office rooms, quiet rooms, reading corners, etc. The accuracy of people count is at least 80%, which is typically good enough for space utilization. Clear advantages versus alternative camera are no cables, simply attached to the ceiling, powered by solar cell. For fast moving people, a passage counter is needed. Such one is in preparation by SD International. 2 passive infrared beams detect both passage directions, in and out. 98% accuracy up to 3 meter passage width is guaranteed, and even 99% accuracy at a smaller 1.5 meter office door. It's a wireless solution with no need for setting up or calibration, so ideal for retrofit. This sensor will be available very soon. For details, just send me an email. With respect to Corona, cleaning and hygiene is getting very important now. 20% cost savings is possible through demand-oriented cleaning, according to ThinkIt. In addition, IoT solutions ensure the evidence of facility management performance, respectively service transparency. Suited sensors for office rooms are people activity, desk device usage, and service call, needed for extraordinary events. Sensors for restrooms or washrooms are door contact that provides people count, service call, dispensers providing filling status, and or door locks providing lock status. Service buttons that don't need hand contact to avoid virus propagations are a proximity button, for example by Piconet, or a foot switch by Nordon. The foot switch is kinetic powered by your foot, and the proximity button is battery powered. But both are very well suited to provide virus propagation. For washroom hygiene, a great system is Smart made by CBS. To wash hands is the most important way to avoid virus propagation, according to unicef.org. Essential for this is to ensure the proper level of all the washroom dispensers. CWS offers all needed dispensers with integrated level sensors, disinfect, soap, towels, and paper. They also provide an own application and an open database for system integrators, as you see here on the right-hand upper side, where you can visualize all the level status of the different dispensers. An outlook for further applications. Please find here some more important IoT devices. For the motion sensor ceiling, there will be a dedicated webinar on July 15. You will receive the appropriate invitation immediately after this webinar. Very remarkable is the new occupancy site from Deuter Controls. The green one here on the picture. Colors of the LED bar can indicate room booking status, so then it's probably green, yellow or red for free, occupied or booked. Or it can indicate cleaning needed according to activity count, or it can indicate no entrance according to a people count. Of course, this LED bar with integrated radio receiver that is permanently running needs a low voltage line power, but can be easily mounted at outside wall of a meeting room, for example, or of a shop. All the mentioned environmental sensors on the right-hand side increases well-being, measuring CO2, temperature, humidity, light, noise, etc. Single room control based on the thermo-powered wireless heating valve actuator provides easiest retrofit, no batteries, increases well-being and saves up to 30% energy. The other units mentioned on this slide should be self-explanatory. Interoperability and also many further devices are provided by the ecosystem of the N-Ocean Alliance. This is a cooperation of 400 companies worldwide promoted by Microsoft, IBM, Honeywell, TS Systems, Taco, Engie, etc. Following the consensus, interoperability is essential for IoT. The Alliance is standardizing the ecosystem and defines open interfaces. So far, I'm done with my presentation. It's time for questions now. First question, is thermal energy available for air conditioning cooling? Yes, there is thermal energy available. There is a product solution that's coming in the US. It's a company Titus. They are doing this variable air fans. And at the ceiling, and because it's at the ceiling mounted, it's also solar, a good possibility to power the device. And so this device is solar powered, but in principle, cooling is the same than heating. It's a temperature difference and works. So, who do I contact the technical details about sensors? The best is you ask the supplier of the dedicated sensor. That's a company that is written on the product itself for technical support. If you want to get an overview, simply contact us. Any other sensors for air quality than CO2? Yes, there there's also a sensor available for Feinstaub. It's in German, particular small particles in the air, and CO is also available. Yes, there are more sensors available, a lot of. Another good question, is there an ocean to backnet gateway available? Yes, it is. There are gateways available to all established building automation systems like backnet, like Connex, like LAN, and so on and so on. And there are also gateways available that directly tunnel the information, the data into the cloud from IBM, from Azure, Microsoft, AWS, and so on, or Google. All those gateways are available. Another question, what was the name of the company supplying the thermal energy sensor? I guess you mean the sensors from the initial page, this industrial sensor that measures temperature and is powered also by the temperature. This is from Pressac in the UK. According to the floor plan by ThinkIt, how many sensors do you need for this graphical report? It depends a bit on the walls that you have, because you need one of these ceiling sensors can cover 30 square meters. But of course, if there are walls in between, then you need a separate passive infrared sensor. So normally covers 30 square meters. VOC sensor would be nice. Any plans? Yes, there are plans. I could dig into the details. Yes, I have heard several times of those. They are a little bit power hungry, but such things are in preparation. Yes. So, no more questions. Then let's go to the thank you very much for all your listening. And the next one we now going on is an outlook to our next webinar. Tomorrow, T-Systems will present their smart spaces solution, getting started with new work. This time in English language. The week before we had it in German language. So if you didn't have the choice to attend the German session, you are very strongly now welcome to join the English session. About the other seminar, I will ask simply Markus.
Yeah. Okay. No, thanks, Armin. Many thanks for the very interesting overview and introduction about healthy spaces using sensor technology within ocean technology. So I think that was a very important topic, especially in the current circumstances. As Armin was mentioning, there will be 2 webinars, one tomorrow, of course, talking about, again, smart spaces and real-life applications. And then, of course, the other will be continuing our webinar series talking about technologies and products. We have dedicated the next webinar mid of July, 15th of July, to talk about the usage of PIR technology and PIR products in various application scenarios. As Armin was mentioning, at the end of this webinar, you will be getting an email with the links where you can register yourself for both of those webinars. You will also find the link where you can do a replay of today's webinar. So in case you have missed or you want to hear something, again, maybe you have missed it in listening today. We have also seen that some further emails and questions are dropping in. So of course, we'll come back to those open questions which we have not been able to answer today. And so then let's turn on the last slide. we have then on the last slide our contact details, which you can of course drop us an email, Armin or myself, if you have further questions, and raise those questions to us directly. That's it basically for today. Thank you for listening. We're looking forward to meet you during our next webinar, and excited to hear about your feedback on that. Thank you and goodbye.